pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, good evening, everyone. Welcome to the October 2nd Wakefield Planning Board meeting. A couple of things before we get started. So seat alternates. So I don't see Dave here yet. So Priscilla, could you sit in for Dave? And Steve, could you come up and sit in for Dick? Thank you. And then we have no public hearings. We have, basically the one thing on the agenda is a conceptual review. So Ed Nason wants to talk about potential, at least on the agenda, it says multi-family units on a piece of property on Stoneham Road. So if you'd like to come up and talk to us about what you're thinking, and we can hopefully give you some information.
So it's 11 Stoneham Road.
Okay, yep.
Need a second?
Yeah, and just, just for the record, this is a conceptual review, so nothing that you say or that we say is binding tonight.
Yep.
But this is a conversation, and let's, we can hopefully answer some questions and explain to you what's.
That's all I'm expecting is,
awesome.
because when I researched it a little bit a year ago,
Yep.
it wasn't clear.
Sure.
It just said it was allowed in that zone, and the calculation was 1 unit per 3 acres.
Yep. So when you say that, you talking about open space? Are you talking
Well,
about just in
that's
general?
all, that's all I, the way I read it,
Yeah.
and I just kind of been mulling it over,
Okay,
so,
sure.
as I put it together, and I gave a picture, it didn't come out very well, you guys might be familiar with that one down in Rochester by the old, Colony Auto Body.
Yes.
It's just a nice looking little cluster of them.
Yep.
I was hoping that I didn't have to subdivide to have a 3-acre lot for each building.
No, you don't. You need.
Just part of the calculation.
You would need 3 acres per unit,
Right.
if that makes sense.
Per unit
So-
or per building?
Per unit. So you could have a 4-unit building on a 12-acre parcel if it was in the 3-acre zone. Does that make sense?
Okay.
So.
No, don't.
So if you have, what our zoning says is, if you're in R3, which this property is in, right? That's 3-acre zoning. So for every housing unit, you need 3 acres. If you wanna put 2 units on that property, and that could be 2 separate houses, that could be a duplex, you need another 3 acres.
I was under the impression it was 3 acres per duplex.
No.
Okay.
No, it's per housing unit,
Okay.
and I can double check that.
Yeah,
But
but that don't sound right to me. I feel like you just.
you don't think that's right?
No.
Well, that's part of
It
And
sounds,
that's why we're here.
that sounds a little too, I mean, I can see maybe for each building, but if he had, like a
Right,
two.
Yeah, because
two rental-
there's no other advantage otherwise, because
no,
that's
that don't
just
sound right.
3-acre minimum zoning.
But it's in the density requirements, I believe.
Yeah, so,
We'll figure it out.
Would there be a pen around that I could make some notes with that purple?
I should have an extra pen.
Oh,
Oh,
thank
no,
you.
yeah, you're right, Doug.
so in R3,
Yeah.
so minimum lot size is 3 acres. For each additional residential unit, in excess of 1 unit is 3 acres. So you need an additional 3 acres for that second unit.
Whether it's a single unit or a duplex,
Correct,
it's a
it does
housing
not,
unit.
it's a housing unit, that's how it's,
So does that mean a separate building, or does that mean if there's I guess that
doesn't
would
ma-
make
it
sense,
doesn't
that
matter.
makes sense as if it was, let's say it was 12 units in that thing, that would make sense to me, but yeah.
yeah,
I
no,
guess.
so it doesn't specify, so as far as zoning's concerned, like, you can do a 2-family, you could do 2.
Two-family, two-unit
Yeah.
building is gonna take 6 acres.
A 2-unit building is gonna take 6 acres, correct,
Okay.
correct. There's also, though, what you probably wanna look at is the regulations around open space development.
Yeah.
So, this is a general, like, explanation, but you have 16 acres, is that right?
Yes,
Okay. If you put half of that or more, but at least half into conservation, you can then build out, so on 16 acres, and this is round figures, and you would need to make sure that you have enough buildable land. In other words, I think on the tax map, it looks like there's some wetlands there.
there is a small,
Yeah,
portion
Okay.
right in there.
so these are general terms, I'm
Yeah,
not
no,
like
no,
speaking
I'm familiar
specifically
with.
for your property, but you, in theory, could put half of a piece of property into conservation. And then the other half, if the entire piece would have allowed 5 building units, if you split all of it up, you could configure those building units much closer together. In other words, like, there's no minimum for saying, oh, each of those building units have to be on 1 acre, or even half an acre for that matter. They need to be configured so there's enough land for septic, so that the state would allow you to put a septic system in. What that generally does is a couple of things. It puts some land into conservation, which in some ways that's a good thing, and it also would limit the amount of property that you would have to develop. In other words, like the infrastructure that you would have to put in,
I get it.
driveways, roadways is less, right? And
So that I understand.
Yep.
So if he has 16 acres, which is a division of 3, would be 5 units.
right.
5 units.
Yep,
And if he put 8 acres into conservation.
Yep.
He could do those same 5 units on that 8 acres.
right, or less than that 8 acres. Like, in other words, you wouldn't have to necessarily go, deep into the lot.
Yeah.
There could be an economical advantage to that.
Yeah,
Right.
but you pretty much answered my whole scenario in the opening statement. Cause I'm not interested in putting half of it in conservation. I'm really
Okay.
not interested in
Okay.
subdividing into lots. I
Okay.
thought, I was under the impression I could, like almost like a family compound, you could do these units, I could stick them in this corner of it, clustered, as long as the
Yeah.
state allowed.
So you could do something like that. Let me think out, let me
Yeah,
think
take your
out loud
time,
here.
I
think you would, in order to do that, you might have to subdivide off the house and create a 3-acre lot. So then you're down to, what, 13?
13, yeah.
And then it would allow you to do 4, assuming there's enough frontage and everything. You might then, you'd still have, if you wanted to do a cluster like that, and that, I get it, it makes sense. Our current zoning,
Sure.
you'd have to put some of that into conservation in order to use that open space concept. I would look at that. I would try to figure out whether that might work.
What does it mean by putting it in conservation? What
Can't be
advantages does
further-
it?
Can't be
does he
further
have?
developed.
Yeah, there's no advantage to me.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
That's why I'm not
What-
interested.
What would the advantage
So-
be to him?
Yeah, what would the advantage,
so-
why would I do that?
So the advantage to you could be, you'd be allowed to cluster the development where you wanted. I mean, I don't know if it might be a little bit bigger than that, but
Right,
there, right?
I was just saying in
So
that corner.
So essentially, like, you're giving up something to be allowed to do something that doesn't fit in traditional zoning. So that's, I mean,
It's a trade-off.
it's a
I
trade-off.
get it.
But
It's a
what,
trade-off.
as far as conservation, I mean, it's got an agreement to be in conservation, but that means it's completely open to the public and.
No,
so it
open
doesn't-
space says that is not the case.
Okay.
But still, it's not, to me, it's not usable.
No.
It's not something I can use.
Well,
You
so,
could use it,
you
but
can
not
use it.
develop it again. I mean,
Yeah, I
that's-
could walk around on it.
So there, don't quote me on this, you'd have to look into it.
Sure.
But it does not necessarily mean that couldn't be used for other activities or other uses, such as potentially agriculture, a field, a woodlot. It
But he
doesn't
couldn't-
mean that if something's in conservation, doesn't mean that you can't log it.
How does it,
No,
how
I
is it
understand
locked
that.
in though? I mean, how is the, who, I mean, it has to be a written agreement, I guess, but how is
Yeah.
it?
So it is spelled out in our open space zoning, like what would be allowed and what maybe wouldn't, like, again, it says in there, it's not necessarily required that you have to open that up to the public.
Yeah,
It would be essentially open space for the people that are living in those units, right? Like, hey, there's some acreage out back and there's some wildlife and, right? Like, and again, the potential benefit is that from a development standpoint, it could be more economical. So you're giving something up.
Yeah.
You're giving up, essentially instead of carving this off into 5 different lots, you're being allowed to use a part of this for your development and the rest of
Sure.
it won't be built on. So in a way, in theory, you're not like giving
Oh,
up
yeah.
anything that you don't already have the ability to do, it's just you're doing it differently.
Right, and that would be okay if that was just a piece of land that I
Could never do anything to
I
it.
wasn't interested, but
Yeah.
I wanna build a house on there too.
Okay.
So my next question, is there a way that I could put my personal house in this corner
Yeah.
and put 2 units over there? Is that still have to be considered cluster? Or can I
so-
space these apart would I have to subdivide? I'm just gonna draw, cause it
Yeah, yeah,
doesn't
no,
matter to
that's
me.
fine.
Let's just say these are 2-3 acre parcels,
Yeah.
and I put one here, and I tore this old
Yeah.
barn down, and I put one there. Would I actually have to subdivide this, or can I just space them out properly and
So-
still?
I would almost think you'd be better to subdivide it, cause that would be a small subdivision, which would only be a notification to you guys, right? You wouldn't have
Yeah.
any restrictions at
Yeah,
all.
yeah.
What's the road frontage
So
required?
it's 150, and you could do a 50-foot right of, like, you could do 150 for 2 lots, and then you could do a 50-foot width to get you
To back
out
that
back.
corner, yeah.
I'm pretty sure you could do that. The other thing is, I believe you wouldn't have to subdivide any of it. You could, because you have enough acreage, you could, leave a house here, build one here, put 2 units here. At some point in time, if you wanted to split it up, you'd have to subdivide. So, I mean, there could be some advantage to doing that now.
As like a family compound.
Sure, yeah, there's enough land there.
Yeah.
Right.
I guess that, not gonna say this is a risk, so don't take it that way,
No,
but the
it's
zoning is what it is today.
Yeah.
If it changed in the future where instead, like, the frontage requirement was 200
Yeah,
per lot, like, it's possible. I mean, we're not looking into any of that, but
Right.
just, you know what you're allowed to do today, and if,
sure, and it's all up in the air.
how does what the state passed, with an 1.5 acre zoning?
well, nothing has come through on that at this point.
So what if he was to file, let's say he filed an application and he based it on 1.5 acres? What happens?
So that's not, state hasn't passed anything to that extent yet. Not in this last year. They could
But it
next
took
year.
effect in June. What took effect then?
I mean, a whole bunch of stuff, like accessory dwelling units and
roads,
class 6 roads, all
Not
kinds of
the-
stuff.
okay,
But there was that did not pass.
Okay.
That doesn't mean it won't in the future.
No,
Right.
So there very well could be something that comes along that says this is no longer 3 acre zoning, it might be 2 acre zoning,
Sure.
right? Like,
Yeah.
I don't know, I don't have a crystal
Yeah,
ball, but.
but I guess, my opinion, that's too far-fetched at the moment. You're looking to think of doing something in the near future.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I guess I think, I love how you're talking, you're looking for answers for him.
Yep.
would it be beneficial for him to subdivide? And if he did 3 and 3, 6, that'd leave, this is a 10-acre lot with a
Sure.
50-foot right-of-way.
Yep,
To me, that would look so that if anything, God forbid anything happened in your life or whatever, that you'd be able to disperse
Yeah, yeah.
without having to try to do it all.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying?
yeah, I mean, I get to your point, like, my opinion, if you ever had to sell, it's gonna be probably easier to sell, you know, separate lots than if you try to sell one big piece. It's gonna be worth a lot of money,
Right.
right? And it
Yeah,
could be
I
more,
get it.
you might have less people that would be wanting to purchase something like
But
that.
if you keep it under 2 lots, right, that considers it a small subdivision?
Yeah.
Which-
Mine. Right.
It was
No, I
3,
think
but
it's
So
under
it's-
3, right, so it'd be 2 lots, right? Or is it 3 and under?
I thought it was 3 and under, but I could
Oh,
be.
okay.
See, if you keep it
Yeah,
under
if you keep
small
it-
subdivision, it keeps you out of all
Right,
the
simple subdivision.
simple
regular.
stuff.
Yep, yep.
Keeps you into
Yeah,
just
minor
notifications.
subdivision, which would result in 3 or fewer lots.
Yeah.
So that's considered minor, it's an easier process. So that's an option too. And that also wouldn't prohibit you in the future, if you wanted to, it wouldn't, you know, there'd be money spent, but that 50 feet would allow you to build a town spec road out back, and you could further subdivide that 10 acres.
But he
possible.
probably couldn't get 3 acres with road frontage. So here's a
Well,
question,
no.
here's a question. Is there,
you might
if he
have
put a right of way right
This is
through
the
the
old
middle.
16 right here.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
If he put a right of way in the middle.
Between
to-
these two,
to-
sure.
Between them.
Yep,
Can that right of way be used as some kind of road frontage for a lot like here?
yes.
It can.
As long as that road is considered a town spec road.
Yeah, just for that distance that he,
Yeah,
let's say he put a
so-
house lot right here.
Yeah.
So and it was, he had to do 100 feet to get to that.
Yeah.
That road right
That
there would
road-
have to be up to a town spec.
Yeah, and which for
nothing.
that number of, what is it, the traffic flow for, say,
still
2
be
or 3
gravel.
lots is small. I don't believe it would have to be paved.
No, it'd only be for, because he's looking for 3,
Yeah,
it would only be for that 1 lot. So it'd be for whatever unit he put
Well,
there.
I actually have access, oh, well, you're saying this old 16 doesn't count as frontage?
I don't know about that.
is that considered a class 6 road? Is that considered a
Honestly,
town
I
road?
think it was abandoned because the
Yeah,
way,
we don't maintain it.
no, we
But that-
definitely don't
but so
maintain it.
that's-
It'd be a class 6.
Is it class 6?
I would, it's either that or we've abandoned it,
I
and
think it's
now it's a
been-
driveway for that, it's a mobile home or something right there, right?
Yeah, right up here,
Right there.
right there.
Right there.
Oh, yeah, okay. I know
And
that-
I,
know
and
what that is, yeah.
I got some wood stored, I use it all the time, I come out here in the land
Yeah.
and I got some
What's the name
wood.
of that road? Do you know?
Is there a name
Does
on
it have
that?
a name?
Does the deed say anything about
Old Route 16.
where is the deeds, is there any mention of the boundary or center of the road or?
Honestly, I can't, there is something, but I can't
Yeah,
remember.
I'm just curious. as
And
what-
that's why I'm almost thinking I saw on the deed abandoned old Route
Yeah.
16.
It's not listed on my roads.
Yeah,
So that would
I
need to
almost
be-
think it's been abandoned.
That would need to be determined. If it is a class 6
Well,
road,
it's all, you know, there's no offense to you guys are, but it just, change, everything we're
Yeah.
talking
Oh,
about, going
I-
up and up and up and
yeah,
up and up.
yeah, yeah.
I was just hoping that, you know,
Well,
common driveway, a couple of units.
And believe me, the town needs them.
Oh, that's one of the reasons, and
And so I feel that there's always those other steps that you can do is you go to the state, because the state wants these. And they give you a lot more help
yeah.
than you think. Well, whether they can today, I mean,
So-
government shut down
So my
today.
question, just being a devil's advocate here,
If I do the 3 acre lots
sure.
and I put a house in, I can do an ADU to
You
each one
can.
of those.
No, well,
right?
so you can do an ADU if the owner is living in one of those. So you
Well,
can't
let's
do
see,
multiple.
That's a family trust and I have a lot
you
of
can't-
family.
You can't do multiple, I don't think you can do multiple ADUs on one parcel.
I thought the state just said you could do up to two.
I thought it was it's not each house.
It's all right, I'm not
Yeah.
gonna do that, I'm not a,
Well, I was
it's
gonna-
really not
It's
my,
okay though, I mean, this is how you
I'm
figure
giving
out
you
a
guys
good direction.
exercise, right?
It's good direction, and it's good, like you said, good practice.
Well, I was gonna ask that question about the ADUs anyway, how they would,
I'm really not interested in developing that way. You know,
You can only put, I think you can put two on now.
That's what I thought, the state regulation was
No.
up to two,
It's
attached or detached.
I don't think it is.
No,
I think
it's.
by
it's
right,
one.
you're allowed one.
Right. Yeah, so that hasn't.
That's
changed.
okay, I'm
Yeah.
not doing that anyways.
I still think though, like what, if your goal is a house back in this corner, either keeping this one, you said something about a barn.
Yeah,
Is
see
this a
that-
house here? or
No,
is
it's a barn, see that highlight, that's
Okay.
an old barn right
Okay,
there, that went,
so, in order for, let's see, if this was gonna be a 2-unit, this would have to be 6 acres. Unless you left it all as one parcel, which you could do. Do that for now, you can leave it all as one parcel, you could do 2-unit here, you could rebuild this, you could build a place out there. You've got enough land to do that.
That's, I guess
You've got
that's
enough,
initially what I was.
you've got enough land to do that.
so let's back up and go to my original question, I could put 2 units here,
Yep,
and I could probably close them in, or do I have to have a certain distance between the units, or?
no, technically not, as far as I understand, no.
So that gets back to my original thought of putting, well, I was thinking 4 buildings, but now it's 4 units, so 2 buildings. Each with 2 units here, I could slide them a little closer together and just keep my single residence, private residence back there.
Yeah, so, yes, assuming that you have enough, you need 15 acres of buildable land.
Sure.
So, as long as this wetlands doesn't take up more or any other steep slopes or anything like that,
There's no
take up.
steep slopes, that wetlands is probably, I believe it's less than a half an acre.
Okay, so as long as your buildable land
Mm-hmm.
on this whole parcel is at least 15 acres,
Yeah.
you could do that.
Yeah, it's 3
Right.
acres per unit of buildable land, that's,
Correct.
I understood
Yeah,
that, I
yeah.
understood that.
Yeah, so, yeah, what you might wanna, so you can do that, you can leave it as one lot, but what you would probably wanna consider, so similar to the family compound, is to configure it in such a way
For future
that if you
subdivision.
wanted to subdivide it,
Yeah.
that you could, if you had 2 units here, 2 units here, that this could be 6 acres, this could be 6 acres, and you'd still leave enough that this here would be at least 3.
Sure.
Which, you've got enough land to do that,
Sure.
it just, you need to,
Yep.
you need to figure out the best way.
Okay,
Um,
so,
And as, as Charlie was saying, like, maybe you don't want the access road here, maybe you wanna have, you want it over in this spot, I don't know, you'd have to,
So,
we'll find out the status of the old road.
that's true too.
Yeah, if that old road was usable for road frontage, then boy, you'd have a lot of them.
I got a lot of road frontage,
You'd have
but
a lot
that's-
of- You'd have a lot of options,
right,
a lot more options
You
than I
know-
think you got here.
it sounds to me like you're saying I can do what I wanna do, instead of 4 buildings, I can only do 2 buildings. 4 units, I
yeah,
understand, and
yeah,
that's
yeah.
okay,
Okay.
that's okay.
yep.
So how do we clarify that this is okay? I mean, is there,
So what you would likely need is, to work with a surveyor.
I've got one
Okay,
all ready to go, I told them I gotta hang tight till I get through this meeting.
yep. So, couple of things. Depends on how you want to proceed. If you don't want to subdivide this,
I really don't.
then you work with Peter. and you make sure that you're meeting like the setbacks,
Sure.
right?
Yeah,
And
yeah,
the
I'm
road
familiar.
frontage, and that he is agreeable to what your plan is, right?
So
Like,
does, when you say road frontage, what, do I have to have 150 feet of road frontage for each one of those buildings
Or units.
or units? Thank you.
So if he has a 2-unit on that X, where he needs 6 acres, cause 2 units is 3 acres apiece, does he need 150 per unit?
Well, that's for subdivision.
no.
Right, that's what I'm
He
saying, I'm
needs
not, it doesn't,
100, he would need, if it was
Just
for
150?
subdivision, he would need 150. He would need 6 acres if he wants to put 2 units on it. Does that make
Correct.
sense?
Yeah, but that's what I meant.
Yeah.
To me, when we first started, one building sounded like it needed 3 acres. But now you're saying if you have 2 units in that one building,
Yep.
he needs 6.
Yes.
Okay, so now if he's got one building with 1 unit, he needs 150 feet. Does he need 300 feet for 2 units?
No, but he
That's
does
what
need, but he does need the acreage.
The acre.
sure,
For that
if he
got
was-
the acreage, that's not a
He
question.
was
Yeah,
gonna
that's cool.
subdivide them later, though, he would need the frontage.
The
like if you
long-term
wanted-
thought process is,
So,
But he would need, he'd still, no, he wouldn't need the acreage,
you were gonna-
he wouldn't need the road frontage for the unit. He already has the road frontage for the one building.
yeah, he doesn't need the road frontage for the units, he needs it for.
But if he was gonna
building.
subdivide in separate parcels of land, he would still need 150 feet for each parcel.
For each parcel, correct.
Correct, which would be
But-
would be a 2 units.
So yes, for each parcel, but a parcel can support more than 1 unit. as
if it's
long
big
as
enough, it's a
as long as
6
it's big
acre,
enough.
it can do
Yeah.
2 units,
Yeah.
if
Does
that
3
make
acres,
sense?
do
Yeah,
one.
I
Yeah,
just,
that makes sense.
So my guidance
So-
is gonna be working with Pete,
Yeah, so if your approach right now, today, currently,
Yep.
or
let's
whatever,
just
next couple of
hypothetically
years,
say
if
4
there is-
units total.
If there is,
fine.
if you're not looking to subdivide at this point, it's working with Peter, and as long as you can fit into the zoning
Yeah.
and you're meeting setback requirements and you're meeting the frontage and the acreage, then he
Yeah,
can
I
grant
got
you
the
building.
acreage, but when you keep saying frontage, what is required for frontage?
The 150 feet
Yeah, the 150 feet, that's all,
For each building,
for each building.
yeah.
so I have to have 300 feet,
So,
even if I use one driveway going like that.
yes,
I think you're correct on that, but you're gonna want 350 feet if you want a 50-foot right of way to get to the back of the lot.
right.
If you
Which
put these out on the
have,
2.
you have enough frontage
Well,
to do that.
yeah,
do you have enough
Yeah.
frontage?
I
Yeah, 'cause
don't, I
it's-
don't honestly, I don't
I don't know, it
I
doesn't
don't
have
even
to be
remember.
pretty close.
I don't think it,
Yeah,
No, you do.
in Jen's note, she said that you had
do.
387 feet of frontage.
well, there you go.
Alright,
Yeah, you
doesn't
have
seem
enough.
like it, but.
We'll go with it.
Yeah, no, you have enough for that. So that's one approach. The other approach is if you did want to subdivide before you did any of this, then you'd fill out a minor subdivision application and you'd come before us.
Yeah.
And we'd walk through that with you,
Be
and
my kid's problem.
that's
Problem now.
that's a way to do it, right? That's an
Right.
approach too.
Yep, okay, so it's looking like 4 units. 300 feet of frontage for those. I could do a 50-foot, I could do one
flag,
unit
well, kind of like a. flag,
personal.
right?
With 50-foot frontage,
Yep.
okay.
Yeah, as long as you, and then 6 acres per building, with 2 acres.
In the calculations, but I don't have to delineate that, I have to just show
No,
that the whole
no.
parcel can support that.
Right, right, yes, you're right, you have to show the whole parcel can support that, you need
Right.
to prove
And then, of
that
course-
you have 15 acres of buildable land.
Sure,
Yeah,
sure.
Yep.
And then, obviously, state-approved septic design.
Yep.
And all that.
yep,
Yeah.
yep,
But you wouldn't have to come back here.
That's, I'm
Right.
just trying to make it simple.
yeah, no, you would not have to come back here,
You just deal with Peter and,
yeah.
and you guys figure it out, and you'd have to show him a few surveying
Yeah,
things.
I use Kerry Fox and
Yeah,
he'll take care of
Yeah.
that.
Yep,
And he knows exactly.
Yep, I've already talked to him and he's all on board.
yep.
Yeah.
No, that's good, right? I
Good for
mean,
you.
we need housing, we need affordable
Yeah.
housing in this town, and that
Well,
sounds
I
like.
don't know
a-
how affordables come down.
No, well, how about this? There's always people that are looking for
Right.
rental units,
Yeah.
right?
You see it on the internet, on the market, on the.
Something comes up
The
and
town site, your site.
there's
people
20
always
people
asking.
that are asking about it.
Yeah, we're definitely lacking. And that's why I'm saying that if you're doing something, I wouldn't hesitate to look into the state things, because there's a lot of things for this housing thing, because we're in such a crisis.
Yeah.
That you might be fortunate enough to get some kind of help too, Ed, you know?
Yeah.
But then you got strings.
I was just gonna say this,
Then
there's
there's
always
strings,
strings.
you know,
and
so I'm not
I
gonna
don't-
push you to that, cause I'm one that don't like the strings.
I get tangled up in strings.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, me too.
So, you look like you're questioning something,
No, not questioning, just thinking,
and that doesn't,
that ADU,
yeah,
that's an option also, like if you wanted to put another unit.
no, I don't want nobody
Okay.
on my own house. No, I'm just,
That's what you're
Yeah.
trying to get away from, right?
yeah,
Hey, you live in this one, right, Ed, across the street, the old Shop's old place?
no, I don't.
Oh, you don't?
Oh, no, I live in Russell's old house, it'd be.
Oh, okay,
out
so
in Brookfield.
does the Shop's old place,
It used to be all one, I mean, it was 2 deeds, but he owned it all.
oh, you own both sides?
Yeah.
Okay, and you just bought the other side?
Correct. with the
Oh, I
barn and all
thought,
that.
for some reason. I
Because
thought you had-
Brookfield isn't too far down here, is that right?
1.5 miles,
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
1.6 miles.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, at least you got some options to think about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that doesn't affect, additional barns or anything like that, if I wanna put a garage up or anything like
No,
that, does it? That's
does
all
not.
I don't believe,
accessory buildings,
yeah.
No.
okay,
Yep.
cause that would be in the future
There are,
too.
yeah, this is getting into the weeds, but if you did subdivide those lots, like if you decided to, in order to have, I think we allow an I shouldn't say accessory building, we allow a standalone, what I'll call barn on, maybe barn is the wrong word, but on a lot without a residence on it, up to, I think, 4 bays, I think that's how we set it, I believe that's what the zoning says. In other words, you could build like a 4-car garage on a.
On a parcel without a house on it,
Correct,
okay,
correct. Not that long ago, we didn't allow that at all.
right,
So, but just when if you keep this all like, if this here is attached to this house, like you can put all kinds of accessory structures on if you want to.
okay,
Yeah, there's no
Good.
restriction there.
alright.
All right. Well, thanks for coming in.
Thank you,
I
guys.
think this
Yeah,
was, hopefully this was
It,
helpful.
it was,
All right.
the end result is, yes,
Yeah,
you
all
were
right.
scaring me there for a minute.
Try not to scare you.
He was, I think he was doing pretty damn good myself.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Right?
Right.
All right, next,
Can we jump
correspondence.
down to public comment so we're not making him sit there?
Oh,
Oh,
You sure? Okay.
this should be quick, but, there's some correspondence from the, town of Madison around something that, Vertex is looking to do there, right?
Yeah.
Ours.
This sounds very familiar, doesn't it?
Tasker Hill,
Yeah.
so what do they want, our opinion?
No, I think it's just considered a regional impact, that maybe we end up getting some service off of this, I suppose. And maybe the other reasoning is, maybe, that if this does get approved there, it might determine whether there's a tower that would be necessary, like on the edge of maybe the town of Wakefield. I don't know, that's kind of how I interpret that, but any thoughts on your side, Andrew?
No, no.
Okay. All right. Okay, public comment. Tom, do you have anything for us?
No, I just, again, on short-term rentals.
Yeah.
I think at the last meeting, there was a brief discussion at the beginning of the meeting about adding, short-term rentals, defining it
Yeah.
in the regulations and
Yeah.
adding it to the permitted uses table.
Correct.
And I'd like to see you guys consider moving forward with that without any regulations.
Okay. So like I stated in that meeting, what I would really like to do is, have a conversation with the entire board just to confirm that. I know that Dave Silcox was the one that kind of led us down this path. I want to give him a chance at a meeting just to comment on that. What I would say is, like, I at least think that we need to do that. We need to put a definition into our zoning.
Hasn't that been going on forever anyway?
Correct, it has been, but
So
here's
let's
the,
just getting the definition.
Just
Well,
give me a definition, I
and-
think the
and add it-
definition is enough.
and add it in the
Personally.
table to say that it's a permitted use.
Right, it's added as a
Correct.
permitted use and be done with it.
Yep, and so,
Kinda has to be on a town with all these lakes.
Exactly.
so there's an argument that it absolutely should be, yes. And that the fact that it's not there is a miss. And so I think we need to correct that. That's my
I
standpoint.
agree.
But I do wanna give, I wanna give Dave just a chance to speak to that.
Maybe you should show up. It's been 3 meetings.
I talked to him today, he said he was gonna be here tonight, I'm not sure what happened, so I can't speak for him.
But we can't do anything to it until we can't put it on we can put it on the warrant, we can't move it until
No,
voting. right?
correct,
So,
correct, yep.
I mean, we got plenty of time, but
We do.
as for consensus, I think you can see that we're on the right path of it.
Yeah,
All right, hope
Yep.
so.
yeah. All right,
No, I think that's exactly what we should do, but I'm not always sitting, so I may not have a vote on it.
Where you're sitting now.
I know. So I can speak.
yes, absolutely. All right, anything else, Amber, that you might have? Do you know if there's anything for the next meeting?
There is not.
Okay, all right, so we'll keep in touch and see if there's a need for a second meeting in October or not. All right, next thing on the agenda is the approval of the September 18th minutes. Do we have enough
I
people to
won't
vote on
vote, because I
this?
wasn't here.
Priscilla, you were here, Charlie,
I'll make a motion that we accept the minutes.
okay?
Priscilla will second.
I'll second, maybe that's better, because she's the one that wrote the minutes.
All right,
I'm good, of course.
Any further discussion? All those in favor?
aye.
Aye?
Aye.
All right,
Abstain.
thank you. All right, next meeting date potentially is October 16th, but keep an eye on your email, we'll see if we have anything on the,
I don't have
okay.
anything, so, and the deadline is passed now for public noticing, so
okay, all right,
unless somebody calls for a conceptual review.
yeah, well, let's just leave it open just in case, I don't wanna put somebody off if they wanna talk to us, so, all right.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Okay,
Second,
all right, all in favor?
aye.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Tom, for coming.
He ain't gonna stop.
Hey, listen, I think it's great that he came down and he,
Yes, it is.
he provided us with some education, some stats that I was not aware of. And that it's, to me anyways, it's a much smaller concern than what maybe some people might have thought, so,
It's really no brainer that that should be part of it.
Yeah.
Uses though,
yeah.
'cause it is.
Well,
It's used, then
it's used, yeah.